Hey guys, Anthony here, Bibles and Barbells, April 14th, 2020. Today's a special day as it is my birthday. So thank you to everyone that knew about it and has sent me birthday wishes. I thank you very much. And so today, as I do every day for the past almost 6 weeks now, is sit in, in the beginning I wasn't sitting in, I was allowed to go into the hospital with my wife. The last several weeks, I've been relegated to the parking garage to sit in the car and wait because we're no longer allowed to go into the hospital unless you're getting treatment. So, what I've done the last couple of weeks, if you've seen, is if you've been watching my channel, is I do some videos from the car in the parking garage, like I'm doing now, where it's kind of dark and dingy and the lighting is poor. But again, I think my point is getting across, and I think my videos are being received well. And like I told you about a week ago, I make these videos almost like a journal, like a video journal for myself to go back and look at over the years. And so they help me a great deal, whether it's a Bible study, political commentary, prepping, etc. They help me a great deal when I go back and I look and I watch them again. They help me. So I do them for that reason as well. Not just to get, thousands or hundreds of views, which that's fine. But again, I do my channel for a specific reason, and that's how I've been doing it since the beginning. And that's since the end of 2008. So today, again, it's April 14th, 2020. The country is in a lot of turmoil. The country is in a lot of distress. The country is in a lot of pain. Our country is in political upheaval, economic upheaval. It's a perfect SHTF storm. And I see a lot of channels, and I watch a lot of channels, both prepping, financial, just all different topics to try to get a good overview, a good overall understanding of what other people are saying and thinking. And, a lot of people in the country, I believe, are not, they're, I want to say brainwashed, but I think it's more, they don't want to accept that something has been cast upon us, something has been planned and carried out against us, and they don't want to admit it. They want to think in their minds that whatever this was is going to go away soon. We're going to get back to work, and we're going to, get back to our normal lives, and things are going to be, like they were back in January, let's say. And that's not going to happen. And I think they just want to think that. And I know it because I could see people in my family as I talk to them, and then other acquaintances, I talk to them via social media or just look at social media at what they're posting and what they're saying. I don't think they really grasp the attack that has been levied against the Republic. I don't think they understand the depth and the breadth of the deep state. I think they think it's something that maybe Donald Trump just made up. I don't think they realize the danger that we're in as a republic, as a people moving forward. They think we're still going to have our Constitution and our rights and our Second Amendment, our First Amendment, etc., where the way I see it, those rights are going to be stripped away sooner than later. And I think that there's even a lot of people in the, that have law enforcement background, military background, economic background. These are people that have a lot of experience, are thinking that there's a way that this is going to turn around and we're going to get back to normal as well. We're going to assert our rights and that's it. Well, I could tell you this, guys. We are in a lot of trouble. Um, I know we have the Second Amendment, we have the First Amendment, we have our rights to peaceably assemble, but those rights are being stripped from us and people are going along with it. Now, we are seeing around the country, I know I read a story briefly in the Drudge Report on a group in Michigan that's going to storm the, in their vehicles, and they're going to do protests on this lockdown and when they're going to get back to normal, and they're going to petition the governor there. I believe, I forget her name, Whitmer or something like that. She's a crackpot, brainwashed liberal socialist Democrat. These people, the Cuomos of the world, the de Blasios of the world, the Dianne Feinsteins of the world, the Charles Schumers of the world, the Nancy Pelosi's of the world, the Barack Obamas of the world, want to see this nation fundamentally changed. I don't think there would be much argument that that's what they want. They have been working to bring down this nation. They are working now with all the governors of the different states. Some of the governors are part of the team, part of the deep state. Others may not be. Others are sitting on the fence. Others are too wishy-washy and just want to protect their, their seat of power to go against the grain. So, with that, I think we are going to see a push to, like we started seeing yesterday, to blame Trump for everything, the deaths of, what is it now, 23,000 people, 500,000 infected, or 500,000 cases. Keep the economy closed, keep unemployment rising, blame it all on Trump. Come close to election season, push for mail-in ballots so that they can, have it their way and get back in power and take their rightful places as kings and queens. So I think you're going to see that really heating up. I don't know if Trump's going to be successful in getting the economy opened, the way he would like to see it. And I frankly, I don't think it's possible to get back to normal, even if he opened the economy today. There's maybe this week we're going to see over 20 million people on unemployment. We have states that may not even be able to pay their unemployment. They're bankrupt. How is that going to get back to normal? How are companies that have been forced to be shut down for weeks and weeks now go back to normal and just go back to as if nothing happened? It's going to be a devastating nightmare in this country for different segments of the economy. And all the while, we have the Fed, and I don't understand too much about financial workings of Wall Street and banking, but I know it's complicated. I know it's hard to understand, but basically what they're doing is they're propping up the markets artificially. They're pumping quantitative easing. They're pumping helicopter money, bailing out this, bailing out those companies. Banks are tightening up the lending, how they're going to lend money and what kind of score you're going to have to buy a house, say a credit score, what kinds of down payment you're going to need to have, and other restrictions that are going to make it a lot harder for the economy to move forward. The housing bubble's going to pop. Houses and land and everything associated with it is going to fall. Those that have been prudent and have put money aside and have cash and capital maybe will benefit from this type of market. But most people in this country, it has been shown, do not have a huge savings, do not put money away for a rainy day, and therefore are going to suffer. I think the next big I think the next big wave of this that's coming is, I know it always ends up pointing to food. And I think in my heart that once they start hitting us in our bellies, that they'll get us to do anything that they want. If you have a people that are hungry, where today I think one of the big pork manufacturers has shut down its plant here in the United States, we may see more of that in other meat industries and other factories that provide food for us. And I've been saying this in the last several videos that I think we're going to start getting hit in our bellies. And the people that have not prepared for that are going to suffer greatly, and they're going to cry out, and they're going to do crazy things. And it's going to see an uptick in crime, in people just going out there and defying what's being asked of them in order to put or to get food on the table. We're going to see, with all the money being pushed into the system, hyperinflation. So the dollars we have today are going to get stripped away of their purchasing power. And you hear people, tout gold, silver, tangible assets, cash reserves for X amount of weeks or months. Most people don't have that. Most people are scrambling now to try and get that. And the dealers of those commodities cannot deliver. And so we are being squeezed as a nation by the deep state. I think this was a planned event. Now, if you go back and watch some of my videos from when this started, I said from the get-go, this is not something that happened organically and just caused the whole world to shut down. This was an agenda that was carried out and that is being carried out by operatives that want to see something else put into place in this world and in this country called the United States of America. They want to see us fall as we currently are now. We would call ourselves a sovereign republic with certain laws and a constitution and a Bill of Rights and all those things that go along with it. They want to see that stripped away, and they want to see a new system put into place, possibly a new currency, electronic monitoring and tracking of every single purchase that's made. And that's why we're seeing a push for this vaccine that coincidentally Bill Gates is running. And coincidentally, or not coincidentally, almost everyone that's part of Trump's, what is he calling it? The team that advises him on this COVID-19, this virus. Almost every one of those people that stand on stage with him at the press conferences is in some way, shape, or form affiliated with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Don't you think that's a little bit unnerving? Don't you think that's a little bit troubling? That all this is just falling into place at this particular time? Don't you think it's a little coincidental that this virus happened in Wuhan, China, that has a level 4 biolab close to the downtown markets in Wuhan? I mean, all you have to do, you don't even have to do a lot of digging to just kind of connect the dots and see where we are here, guys. Now you see, I've been seeing tweets and Instagram feeds of people just begging for Barack Obama to come back and lead this country and fix all the problems that this country has, when he is the one that has us in a lot of this to begin with. Didn't he give $3.5 million to the Wuhan Level 4 biolab? I think it was in 2015. It's a known fact that he gave them money to research this bat virus. This has been being planned for a long time. It has a lot of people involved. The machinations of this are very, very deep. And I think that they'll be exposed eventually, but it may be too late by the time all the facts and all the dots are connected for this to be, finally called what it was. A deep state attack on the world economies, on sovereign nations, on the United States of America directly as a bioweapon. And you ask yourself, well, what's next? Is this virus just going to go away and then open up the country and get back to normal? No, they're going to push for the vaccine. They're going to push for the markers, the cards, the tracking, or the whatever their next step is in their plan. They're going to push for, and they're probably going to get it, because most people, like lemmings, will go willfully as long as they can go back to work, and as long as they feel that it's not, I'm not really doing anything wrong. I don't see anything wrong with it. It's a way to keep everybody healthy, and they're going to sell it that way, and most people are going to buy it, because most people in this country have been dumbed down listening to the mainstream media and all its pundits and all the people involved with it. They're all part of the deep state. All you got to do is, there's a great show out. I put it in one of my links yesterday, Out of the Shadows. It just gives you a glimpse of some of this deep state. I'm going to be reviewing a few books that I'm reading right now that have to do with that. The pedophilia rings, the Pizzagate, the Epstein connections of many of our politicians, Hollywood, sports figures, etc., powerful politicians and world leaders. These people aren't the people that you think they are. They have a sinister plot. They have a different view of how the world should be run. They want to keep you and I down, and if we get in the way, we'll be eliminated. That's as simple as that. Through a virus, through whatever it is, the world will just be thinned out. Through hunger, through starvation, through forced, living in the cities, corralling us up in certain areas, not letting us buy seeds and implements to be self-sufficient. Just look at what happened in some of the stores recently. What, you can't go to Home Depot and buy certain implements to be self-sufficient? Why is that so important, to have control of all that and not want you to be able to grow some potatoes and beans and some vegetables? Why is it so important? Because they need you and me to be dependent upon them and their system and their way. When you want to do it your way, independent, free living, free thinking, it's going to be frowned upon. You'll be singled out. You'll be marginalized. You'll be outright harassed. By who, you say? By who? Who's doing some of the bidding for them now? It's the regular police, sheriffs, state troopers. Just look on the news, what's been going on. Most of your police don't work they work for the state, and they'll continue to do so. And I'm not saying anything bad about, in a blanket statement, that police and law enforcement and military are bad. I'm just saying they're going to do what they're told in the long run, most of them. Most of them are going to do what they're told in the long run, because they're going to be told, this is the new way, this is the new law, this is the way it's going to be done moving forward. Forget about this past way that we've done things. This is a new era. This is a new world order. And they're going to go along with it. And you and I that adhere to the old system, or anyone else that adheres to the old system, is going to be marginalized, categorized, corralled, and pushed aside. That's how it's going to be, guys. They're going to get their way because they control everything. And if they control the money, if they control the courts, if they control the military, if they control the police, all they have to do is nationalize the police. Yes, nationalize the police, and what do you have? You have an instant Homeland Security force, all reporting up to D.C., all reporting to one commander, everything decentralized and centralized. You don't think that could happen? When there's food riots, when people are hungry and don't have food and water and basic necessities and take to the streets, you don't think they'll do that? I think it's been planned. You could do some research on your own and figure out that's what their plan is from the beginning. And if they have to, they'll bring in people from out of the country to take the place of those police officers and those military men that may resign or speak out somehow and not want to go along with the new program. Sure, there'll be some, but there won't be many. It won't be most of them. So they already have plans for this. They've already made contingency plans and things that they'll do to bring this forward. And then there's those preppers and people that have been mocked over the years. They have been laughed at. Those that have been espousing this and saying, prepare for a rainy day, prepare for hard times, prepare for SHTF, prepare for without rule of law, prepare for a deep state takeover, prepare for whatever may come your way. It's not so funny now, right? When most people now are scrambling to prep. But now they're finding it very, very difficult because certain things can't be had. Certain things are out of stock. Certain products are not on the shelves anymore. And now it's being frowned upon to buy certain things and to do certain things. And there are those, and I watch them, that have moved out to the country, that live with other, let's say, like-minded people. They live, and that's great. I'm so happy that I wasn't able to do that. My particular situation was not able to do that. I did whatever I had to do to make my old situation better, and I did that. Do I want to go to the next level and maybe get a plot of land and exist away from crowds and communities? Yeah, I probably would want to do that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. But even those preppers that have done that, in this new system that they're bringing in, you won't be allowed to do that for long. Eventually, you'll be corralled in with the rest of the people, and through the new system, the new surveillance state, you'll be forced to give up your way of life. That's just how it's going to be. It's not going to be, in my opinion, that easy to self-sustain and self-exist apart from the system, let's say it that way. It's not going to be that easy. It's going to be frowned upon, and it's going to be looked upon as a, who do these people think they are that they could exist without us? We're the masters. We're the rulers. We're the new world order. So guys, I know I talked about a lot today, and you have to do your own research. You have to stay awake. You have to keep your head on a swivel. You have to know what's going on. You have to understand that this battle is tremendous. This isn't going away. This is going to get pushed, and there's going to be other events, other things that are going to be happening, other things that have been planned to keep us in line and to keep the narrative going. And many of the people that you see on TV every day are not your friends. They're not defenders of liberty. Let's put it that way. There are defenders of liberty out there, but most that you're seeing in the mainstream media are not the ones you think they are. I'll say it again, as I've said them before in my other videos. Personally, I think Barack Obama is still president to many people. I think he still gives orders and reports up to through the deep state. And I think that they're going to have a lot of success moving forward with this pandemic that has been cast upon us, this societal collapse and Great Depression that we're going to be in and in right now. I think it's going to get worse and more severe. I think now is the time to get together with like-minded individuals. If you haven't already done so, increase the size of your community of like-minded individuals that don't want to see this country collapse into the society that's being pushed upon us. That's all I have to say today in today's video. Hopefully it's helpful, guys. Hopefully it gets you thinking. And again, whether you agree with me or not, just look at what's going on around us. Look at what's being portrayed, how it's being portrayed. Start connecting the dots and understand that the system that's being pushed upon us is there to control us and to usher in a new system, a new world order, if you will, run by a wealthy few. And the rest of us need to fall in line. If you don't, you'll be eliminated. Like I said, they'll have plans and they'll have plans for you. Let's put it that way. So, I know people don't like to hear bad news all the time and negativity, but you have to understand the battle and what's being cast upon us in order to be able to fight against it. And so with that, understand who you really report up to. Almighty in heaven is who you report up to. He knows what's going on. He knows who these people are. They're exposing themselves now because they know their time is short, and they know that in order to put their perfect world utopia into play, that certain things need to happen, and they're doing it, and the Bible talks about it. And so if you're a student of the Bible, you know this is not all happening by accident. So you know who you report to, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, who knows everything, who sees everything, is not taken by surprise by anything, and therefore that is your glimmer of hope. That is where all your hope shall remain. That is how you are able to identify the enemy and know what the enemy is planning for his next move. Anthony signing off. Bibles and Barbells, stay ready. God bless. Take care.